அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். Today we are going to talk about what is MMT theory and practice. Is the fifth part. So current strategies and the data what we accumulate in real terms. I'm going to describe the current theory and practice, how it is related. The data is related with our existing monetary values. I'm going to explain a little more on this. Whatever the data we gathered, it's in the name, what we call the name. In acrostic, we can say that notional accessible moments existence. Whatever the name we assign for our usage, it's only notional accessible moments existence. The name, whatever the title we give, automatically be changed after some time when it is introduced some other new facts and other derived from the original level. So that's the way that the money is also one of the way. It has been its own movement for accessibilities in total accessible way. What are the accessible way and how the accessible way is derived. Now we are going to talk about the real value of what is monetary theory and practice, the fifth part. The data, what is accumulated in real terms for the last 10 years, you can see. And this last 10 years, the monetary theory and practices is almost related with them. The digital format, almost it's in the form of digital way. So that's what we give in other terms, the data and some more the data what we gathered through this computerized digital data. Whatever accumulates is sharing of knowledge through this. After the last 500 years, how the paper value is determined for our monetary. This now the data is stored in different way and different format in computer and other digital accessibilities. So whatever the data sharing is the optimum higher relevant data. That's whatever we gather. We can see the data in real terms. Directive accessibility total assessment. That's what we give the name. Whatever the name we title, it's notional accessible moments existence. So whatever the notional accessible moments existence, how we interpret in so many ways, the data what we have at present is a fact given, granted in plural form. That's what it's derived from the Latin word datum. So whatever is given, the fact is the basis of it. The calculation is it's a making process of mathematical problems and other things. It's a new. It has been. Ever since the 15th century, it has been our usage in the paper as well as in the various format. How that fact is collected for our future reference. How in the form of direct letter or words, whatever we come across in different ways. It has been ever since the 15th century. It has been used with straight arranged to give you a particular directions and send in straight line to guide our future values. So this is the way our data is accumulated. So that's what we directive, whatever the directive accessibilities in total assessment. It was in the paper, it has been in the paper now, even now at present, the paper value is more important than in the digital value. But anyhow, in that last 10 or 15 years, the digital format is also in so many ways. So normally we consider the money is a tested form and tested activities only, whether it's in paper or in digital format, whatever it may be, it's organized governmental introducing or government value method. So that's what the data, whatever the data share, the tested data sharing organizing. So tested data sharing organizations through TDSOs now at present is being used for in digital format and digital data sharing. So it's how it's analyzed for the business challenges and how is it meet our enterprise goals and the business enterprise goals and other banking transaction real terms. And that's what we call the directive accessibility's total assessment as a data. So data in real term, direct letter words or numbers in showing by way of conducting, leading, or giving directions for our future uses as well as the estimated value, whatever the capable of being accessible in reach ever since it has been used. So that's the way that, so that's what we call this. As per the Lydia Lotterly Jones, Senior Director Analyst Gartner, he says data sharing is the way to optimize higher 11 data, generating more robust data and analytics to solve business challenges and meet enterprise goals. So that's the way. It's easy to reach and easy to communicate. That whatever the way it's facilitated to us, it's in the form of digital way. Now it is in the it has been used for our trusted data sharing level. Whatever the organization leads to, and it has been the practice of monetary value at present. So in the trusted data sharing organization, whoever leads to this, this is the practices to our economy. That's what we call an economy in real terms. So economy, already we know that's eco is a common term for economy and as well as ecological. So that's what eco is that. Nomi, this economy is practices of interstitial transformation. That's very important for our living, wherever that social empowerment is extending its growth or degrowth, whatever the imaginary value you possess in the possible action. So the strategy is more parallel solution to transform the institution of our wage to work. So whatever the work we implement in day-to-day process in various ways in digital format, the cooperative ways of organizing the productions, consumption, and distribution, it has its own value. It's alternative to capitalist or centralized planned economics like communists and other things. So that's what we says in 2010, he says in industrial strategies offer parallel solution to transforming the institution of waged work. So whatever the worthy, accessible, gathered energy through that waged work, whatever that work we called with operating regular knowledge, whatever that work we, with operating regular knowledge, what we possess, that's what we call in acrostic. With operating regular knowledge, whatever the work wage in the formation of worthy, accessible, generating existence for our existence. So that's what the wage is, we can say, with operating regular knowledge, whatever the term used for an economy in real terms. So this TDS1, the trusted data is only is the money, or in the form of paper value or in the digital formats, whatever it may be, it's only trusted data sharing organizations, whoever it leads in the form of banks or any other government, wherever in our in the world. So that's what that he says in that industrial strategies offer parallel solutions to transforming the institution of waged work, to ways of organizing production, consumption, and the distribution have long provided that viable alternatives to capitalist or centralized planning economies. So that's the way. So what is data? How the data is useful for our trusted data sharing organization. Since the paper to at present the digital format it has been used in our day-to-day life. However, there is a risk for industrial strategies to remain marginal or function simply as an escape from the yoke of capitalist relationships. So it is the accumulation of the capitalist. It's also risk taking in a certain extent. So anyhow, that trusted is the only name what we are saying for a data sharing organization. So that's the direct way of our acceptability to for our total assessments, whatever the format is there. That's what there is in the risk in the transitional state strategies in the form of marginal real functions in real terms from the accumulation of any kind of values in real terms. So that's what the eco villages and the forms of labor exchange through practices such as time banking provide visions of possible social organizations of tasks outside wage labor that transcend current structures. So that's the way that whatever the eco villages is formed and framed in our labor labor exchange. What's a labor we call it as local accessible bringing of utility regulations. So the labor is one of liability accessible. Everyone should take care of their own bringings of utility that regulated the exchange value, whatever we possess in real terms in the form of money or in digital format. So in data, whatever the data we have in our possession, says the time banking is the strategy to provide visions for our social organizations of tasks outside wage labor that transcend current structures. So that's the way it has been used. So that's the way it has been shifted from the paper to the digital formats, and it has been interoperated in real terms. It's a communal ownership by citizens and the other workforce, even along with them, accessing data sharing organizations for making decisions and impact them day-to-day working of our livelihood. So that's the way, and that modern monetary theory has been practicing in our real terms in the form of data and other accessible way, whatever the total knowledge we accumulate in the form of work, that is with the operating regular knowledge, whatever we have in the form of work, that's the fact in reality as a whole in assessing our fixing the amount in any format in the tax, fine, or etc. This is only that's whatever this is given in name what we assign to our day-to-day usage. That's what the notional accessible moments existence is in the form of paper to digital format as present. So that's a simple way of assessing our value through the data is directive accessibility in total assessment in real terms, trusted data sharing organizations, one of the organizations present in name sake for our nominal usage for our livelihood from the bottommost level to the higher level of people present in various societal ways. So this is just I conclude my thoughts on monetary theory and practice in real terms in the data. The data is just nothing but the direct accessibility, total assessment, and in data sharing, we can say in the trusted data sharing organization is there in the form of bank or government or any other trusted in our utility for our day-to-day livelihood for the human being. And just I conclude my thought sharing on monetary theory and practice with the quotations what they have been adapted in real terms by the expert on this, and the practices what we have been assumed in real terms it has been changing in real terms. This I just conclude monetary theory and practice. Thank you for listening to share my views.